Welcome back to our Bourdain series where we're cooking our way through Anthony Bourdain's layout cookbook. We just entered the soups chapter, which means we're up with the first soup, Soupe à Pistou. For those of you who don't know what Soupe à Pistou is, because I didn't, it's basically a French minestrone, and Pistou is like a pesto, basically the same without the pine nuts. Just another reason to love Anthony Bourdain, but the first step in the recipe says put on some music, period. So, Echo, play Gary Clark Jr. on Spotify.
Mr. Bourdain recommends throughout all of these recipes that one always gets their mise in place. Mise is his nickname for mise en place. In French, it means put in place. He describes it as your setup, your state of readiness, all the ingredients and utensils you will need during the service period. A way of life, the mania, the religion of all good cooks. In the book, he also mentions that most soups get better the next day. He clarifies this is not one of them. He says this lovely, colorful, fresh-tasting soup will turn a nasty army fatigue color by tomorrow, and the pistou will take over the soup. So eat it all now. The pistou is made up of basil, garlic, olive oil, and parmesan. Very similar to a pesto, without the pine nuts.
Quick interruption, I did use a mortar and pestle because I already owned one, but he says you can use a food processor and most people do, but that he thinks it's a cheat and doing so would be wrong.
In the introduction of the book, he says, anyone who says cooking is in the blood when talking about professionals is talking out of their ass. Eating well is in the blood. An appreciation of the glories of the table, of good ingredients well prepared, is in the blood. The enjoyment of a long lunch, at a table with good friends, tearing into the good stuff made with love and pride, that, arguably, is in the blood, or at least in your cultural heritage. But you've got that already, right? Otherwise, you wouldn't be here.
A quick recap of this recipe, I really liked it. It was very simple. It didn't taste like minestrone to me, although it is vegetable soup in nature. All that Parmesan and basil, I think, really changed it up a little bit. It definitely turns creamy after you put the pistou in. I did see online that some people don't even mix it in like he did. I'm happy I did though, because I think it let the Parmesan melt into it. I would recommend it. It takes a couple of hours, so just be prepared for that. Gary Clark Jr. Radio on Spotify was a great idea for this recipe. I don't know that it goes with the whole French vibe though.